This is Michael Dante on deck with my special guest, Tony Curtis. Tony has starred in more than 100 films to date, including the Defiant Ones, which he earned an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor. For 4 decades, the star still shines brightly over this handsome, charming, and multi-talented actor, painter, writer.
You're so knowledgeable.
His charisma and energy can only be claimed by a few of his peers. He just completed his autobiography entitled Tony Curtis, The Autobiography. No holds barred, purely Curtis fashion. I know, I'm his buddy. Don't go away, I'll be right back after this with my special guest, Tony Curtis. Stay with us. This is Michael Dante on deck with my special guest, Mr. Tony Curtis. Tony, we all know the movie industry has changed since we started in the business. Compare the industry then with the industry of today.
The difference of the two is a subtle one. It's more technological than it is anything else. You know, special effects now, the equipment that one can use in movies are much more sophisticated than they were when we, in the 30s, well, not 30s, but 40s and 50s. So that's the major big difference. As far as playing scenes and as far as working in front of a camera, that work is still the same for an actor. So that hasn't changed. What's changed is obviously our mores, our attitude. So our feelings become a lot more involved in it. Everything is a sound bite now. You know, everybody wants instant gratification, instant death, instant love, instant money, instant fame. You know, movies that were made in the 30s and the 40s and 50s, in fact, part of the 60s, were a little more laid back. They weren't quite as obvious as they are now, you know. But that's the taste. You know, we discard things much quicker than we ever did before. You know, we eat up that ice cream out of that cup in a hurry and throw that cup away. You know, we don't savor these things, but that's the way it is now, and there's nothing you can do about it. And I have 10 seconds left to talk. Let me see, what shall I talk to you about? Michael, how long have you been living down here in Palm Springs?
We've been here for on and off.
Who is we?
My wife, Mary Jane.
Mary Jane?
Mary Jane.
Is this Mary Jane sitting
This is Mary Jane.
What a charming woman.
And this is your host.
She's in charge of all that equipment, isn't she?
She is. This is your host, Michael
you're
Dante.
lucky, Michael.
I am.
You are.
I am a lucky guy.
You are.
And a lucky guy to have you for a friend all
listen,
these years.
give me 5. You're a good man. I'm happy to be here with you.
This is your host, Michael Dante, saying so long until next time when I'll have another special guest from the world of entertainment. Take care, and God bless. This is Michael Dante on deck with my special guest, Bryant Gumble. Bryant began his television career in 1972 when he was named sportscaster for KNBC, the NBC television station in Los Angeles, California. He first worked for NBC Sports in 1975 as host of its NFL pregame show. By January of 1982, he became the anchorman for NBC News Today. He has anchored the program longer than anyone in the show's long and storied history. Throughout the years, he has excelled at bringing the latest news developments to millions of viewers and interviewing the people who most affect their lives. Don't go away. I'll be right back after this with my special guest, Mr. Bryant Gumble. Stay with us. This is Michael Dante on deck with my special guest, Bryant Gumble. Bryant, since you started anchoring the Today Show in 1982, through the present day, what changes took place and what changes do you foresee in the future?
Wow. You know, I mean, there's so many ways I can address that. I mean, technologically, we've changed a great deal. When I started on the program, most of the people that we spoke with, we did face-to-face in New York. Now, because of so much satellite technology, now I would say more than half of our guests are done two-way. More than half our guests wind up being a combination of either from other cities or overseas. So it allows us access to so many more people, and we do it in a different fashion. In terms of the competition, too, we've changed. I think when When I started on Today, it was one of the few outlets that if you had a movie or a record or a book, it was one of the few places you could go to pitch it, so to speak. Now, quite frankly, you can go to any of the morning shows, you can go to any of the magazine programs, you can go to Phil, Oprah, Geraldo, Sally Jesse, Ricky Lake, et cetera, et cetera. So in a competitive sense, there's a lot more of that. In a news sense, too, we're a very different world. When I came on board, arms talks weren't even going on. The Cold War was very much a reality. Now, as we all know, the Cold War has since gone, and so our priorities tend to change. Those things that made news on an ongoing basis back in 1982 now seem like distant memories. We still have our flare-ups, and there's still lots to talk about, but they tend to be much smaller in nature.
Thank you, Brian. This is your host, Michael Dante, saying so long until next time when I'll have another special guest from the world of entertainment. Take care, and God bless. This is Michael Dante on deck with my special guest, Buddy Hackett. Buddy is without a doubt one of the greatest comedians of all time. He made his acting debut in his hometown of Brooklyn, New York at the age of 16. Went to work in the summer months in the Catskill Mountains, Borscht Belt, until Uncle Sam directed him in the Army for the next 3 years. Success followed his discharge from the service. He went on to star on stage, nightclubs, radio, television, and motion pictures for many years, and still keeping us all laughing. Don't go away. I'll be right back after this with my special guest, Buddy Hackett. Stay with us. This is Michael Dante on deck with one of the funniest men ever, Mr. Buddy Hackett. Welcome to the show, Buddy.
Well, thanks, Michael. I'm glad to be at the beautiful Shamrock Hotel in Houston.
For the most part, Buddy, you, at this stage of your life, can pick and choose some of the things you want to do, where you want to work, and when you want to work. Where and why do you want to work at certain places, if you wanted to work? Why would you choose a particular place?
Well, it has to do with the personality that runs it. Now, Burton Cohen runs the Desert Inn in Las Vegas at the moment. The Desert Inn was recently taken over by the Sheraton Corporation. I have a good affiliation with Sheraton back to the time when Bud James was CEO of Sheraton. So I'm feeling comfortable there. Now, I don't really work that often or that much. I don't know why, I just don't feel like it. But when I do work in Las Vegas, it's the Sheraton. And when I work in Atlantic City, it's Caesars. And I guess it's Caesars because Caesars picked me up from the first place that opened, Resorts. And I went to Caesars, and I've been there, I don't know how many years, 10, 11, 12, you know. And I used to do the commercials for Caesar. So I have a feeling for Caesars and for the guy who books it, Alan Bregman. And so my association is not to a place, but to the personality that I'm involved with.
I think that goes back to your background. Brooklyn, New York, the gang, the guys. And you, the person I know, loyalty and honesty is a very important part of relationships.
Yep.
And I love and respect you for that, buddy. And I wish we could do this again in the near future. But it goes.
Well, having done this with you, I don't have to write a book.
This is your host, Michael Dante, saying so long until next time when I'll have another special guest from the world of entertainment. Take care, and God bless, buddy. You're the greatest. This is Michael Dante on deck with my special guest, Milton Berle. He is referred to as Mr. Entertainment, Mr. Show Business, Mr. Tuesday Night, but recently the Academy of Television...
Mr. Boat, Miss Everything, Miss
and
America.
Sciences officially awarded him a special plaque that henceforth he will be known as Mr. Television.
Oh, isn't that wonderful?
His career covers every aspect of show business, including writing and publishing over 400 songs, as well as authoring several books. He became the
What
first...
do you mean several?
Yes.
Hundreds.
Hundreds.
I'm like Steve Allen. I haven't written a book all day.
He became the first giant of television, a true showman of so many aspects or facets, and still keeping them laughing. Don't go away. I'll be right back after this with my special guest, Milton Berle. Stay with us.
Yeah, please.
This is Michael Dante on deck with the legend of comedy, Mr. Milton Berle, coming to you live from the famous Friars Club in Beverly Hills. Welcome to the show, Milton.
Well, welcome to my show. No, it's your show, I'm sorry. When you say Dante, I thought you meant auntie or uncle or something. It's a pleasure, really, to be sitting with you here. Well, I don't know if it's a pleasure. It's more of an imposition, that's what it is, to be sitting with you here at the Friars. And thank God that you didn't order anything, any food yet, because I want to see how this broadcast turns out. Then I may pick up the check and hand it to you. But I said, you can laugh. You know, I want to tell you something, Michael. You usually do this from Palm Springs, don't you?
Yes.
From the Marriott?
Marriott Desert Springs Resort and Spa.
Marriott. And I must tell you sincerely that I never miss your program. I never hear it, so I never miss it. So joke 2, 3, 4.
Well, it's fun to do it here, Milton, because my wife and I had our reception here. We were married here. And that was only 2 years ago. So coming
crazy.
back here...
You were crazy. The both of you were crazy to get married.
One of those kind of guys, you know.
What night was that? What night do you...
It was the 26th...
Of what? November?
Of September. September 26th.
Well,
we have an anniversary coming up.
How many years?
2 years.
Well, I have an anniversary coming up, November 26th. It'll be nearly 4 years that I'm married to my new bride, my
beautiful Lorna.
Designer.
Yes.
Lorna, formerly Lorna Adams, who was in the fashion design business, and now she's a home wife.
And may you be married another 100 years. And
What,
Milton,
100
it's so
years?
great to talk to you. This is your host, Michael Dante.
Are you going to leave me now?
Saying so long until next time when I have another special guest from the world of entertainment. Take care and God bless.
You're welcome.
This is Michael Dante on deck with my special guest, an entertainment giant, Mr. Glen Campbell. Glen began playing guitar at the age of 4, and by the time he was 6, he was an accomplished picker. At 14, he joined his uncle's 5-piece band and toured the Southwest with his group before moving to Los Angeles, where he found studio work playing on records for Frank Sinatra, Nat King Cole, Merle Haggard, and Elvis Presley. Glen's career skyrocketed with hits like Gentle on My Mind, By the Time I Get to Phoenix, Wichita Lineman, and Rhinestone Cowboy. Had his own television show, The Glen Campbell Good Time Hour. He has sold more than 45 million records, earned 11 gold albums, 4 gold singles, and won 5 Grammy Awards. Don't go away. I'll be right back after this with my special guest, Mr. Glen Campbell. Stay with us. This is your host, Michael Dante, on deck with my special guest, one of the greatest entertainers ever, Glen Campbell. Glen, you have your own venue in Branson, Missouri. The Glen Campbell Good Time Theater.
Right.
Tell us all about it.
We do a production show. We got 8 dancers. It's a 2-hour show. The best popcorn in the world. We don't serve alcohol, which none of the theaters do. It's amazing. Anything you want. The best yogurt in the world, and probably the best show that I've ever done anywhere. It's a lot of fun to have everything like one, especially sound, lights, great staging.
And you do all of your numbers, your
definitely.
pop, your gospel, and some jazz and some just picking.
Exactly.
And
we'll be doing everything from Bridge Over Troubled Water to Gentle on My Mind.
all the great tunes.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to, that wants to hear all the great tunes.
That's right. Even Impossible Dream, And a lot of the country stuff, the bluegrass stuff, Roly-poly, that is little fatty. Bob Wells stuff, it's great.
And the standards?
Yeah, the standard, I am a lineman for the county, yeah. And I drive the main road, searching in the sun for another overload. That's a great song. Jimmy Webb wrote that.
Oh, geez. Jimmy Webb has written so many great tunes.
Yeah, he
And you
has.
guys have had such a great marriage of talent. Wow.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful work. And Glenn, I want to thank you for coming on the show. It's always a pleasure to see you. And those
Thank
of
you.
you out there, go to Branson and see Glenn Campbell.
Thank you, Michael.
This is your host, Michael Dante, saying so long until next time when I have another special guest from the world of entertainment. Take care, and God bless.
Hi, this is Glenn Campbell. Join me on deck with Michael Dante. It's great. You'll like the show.